Hello students, welcome back once again to my maths class. In today's video lesson, we are going to talk about the quadratic equations exercise 5.2. Right, and we have completed the exercise 5.1 in our previous video session. If those who have not watched those videos, just watch it completely and proceed to this video. Right, now in the previous video we have discussed the introductory part, the concepts of the quadratic equation and the exercise problems of 5.1. Now here we are going to discuss the exercise 5.2, the problems and their solutions. Now here we have the factorization of the quadratic equations. Now children, you have learned in your previous class, in the 9th class, how to factorize the quadratic polynomial. Quadratic polynomials. Factorizing the quadratic polynomials by splitting the middle term. Right. The same thing we are going to use by splitting the middle term of the quadratic equation. We are going to find the roots or the zeros of the polynomial. Now here let me quickly revise the previous concept. Like if you are taking an example, let me take 2x square minus 3x plus 1. This is a quadratic equation because it is equated to 0. It's an equation. If there is no 0, we call it as a quadratic polynomial p of x. Now here this quadratic equation, now if I substitute in place of x 1, okay, if I substitute x is equal to 1, then it comes to 1 square minus 3 into 1 plus 1 equals to 0. That comes to 2 minus 3 plus 1 equal to 0. So 3 minus 3 equal to 0, 0 equal to 0. That means 1 when I have substituted in the quadratic equation, it is satisfying the equation. We got the same values, isn't it? So that means 1 is called the root of the quadratic equation, okay, of this quadratic equation. Now we knew in our previous class that 1 is called the zero of the polynomial, isn't it? The same thing, the zero of the polynomial, here I'll write it, zero of the polynomial is same as the root of the quadratic equation. Now, could get the difference. The zero of the polynomial is one and the same, the root of the quadratic equation. Now here also we've studied the linear polynomial, quadratic polynomial and the cubic polynomial, isn't it? For the linear polynomial the degree is 1, so the root, utmost root must be 1. Utmost 0 is 1. And for the quadratic polynomial, that most, if it is quadratic polynomial, degree 2, so at most how many zeros? At most 2 zeros. That means no zeros, 1 0 or 2 zeros. Maximum 2 zeros we can get. Likewise, same thing in the quadratic equation. At most, at the max, we will be getting 2 roots. Here it is called as the root, right? And whereas for the polynomial, we call it as the 0, 1 and the same. Now let's get started with the exercise 5.2 solutions. Quickly pause and note it down. Now the first problem, find the roots of the following quadratic equations by factorization. The first and the third I have noted down on the board. Now we'll solve them the same way as we have solved in the quadratic polynomials, that is factorizing by splitting the middle terms. Same way we'll be doing for the quadratic equations also. And here, now if you take the first one, what you have to see? Now clearly listen, what do we have to see? Just multiply the extreme terms, that is this is x square minus 10 square. Note it down in the rough part. Rough work, we'll do it aside. Rough part is very important for mathematics. Now here, if you multiply the extreme, so minus 10x square. Okay, minus 10x square. Now I'll split this. Now, what are the factors of 10? We can write 10 and 1. We can write 2 and 5, 5, 2. All these are factors of 10. Which factors of 10 we have to take so that it, when added, you have to get the middle term. Splitting the middle term is that when you're taking this 10, I'll take the factors these two. So which is suitable for that, so that you get our terms. You have to take such factors. You have to take such that when you do the multiplication, you get the product of the extreme terms, and when you do the addition, you have to get the middle term. Such factors you have to choose from these. So 10 and 1, it doesn't work out. So here, if you take 2 and 5, let me take 2x, 5x, suppose. Okay. Now, if you add them, like if this is minus, no? So like keep minus for the big term and plus. Okay. If you add them, you get minus 3x. Right. That is the middle term. And if you do the product, you get 10x square. Check it out. 5 2s are 10x square minus 10x square. Why I have kept a minus sign for the bigger one? Because our middle term is having a minus sign. So keep minus for the bigger term. So likewise, you have to choose those factors. If you do the multiplication, you have to get the product of the extremes. If you add, you will be getting the middle term. So these are the terms which we need to take into consideration. Here x square, I am splitting the middle term using 2x and minus 5. X, 2x minus 5x minus 10 equal to 0 simply. And we are not taking 10 and 1, because 10 and 1 if you add, you won't get 3x, isn't it? So I am not taking that factor. So like this. Now in these 4 terms, from 2 terms take the common part. In these 2, common is x. So the remaining is x plus 2. Now in these 2 terms which is common, you take it out. So minus is there, 5 is there common. Now the remaining is x plus 2. What I did? I have taken a common thing in these 2 terms, again a common thing in these 2 terms. Now we got only 2 terms here, this term and this term. In these 2 terms, the common is at the center one, that is it, which is in the bracket. So that I will take it out, the common term. Then the remaining is x minus 5. Right. This is the way of factorization of the middle term. Okay. Now here it is obviously clear that x plus 2 equals to 0. Also x minus 5 equal to 0. They two are products, isn't it? Binomial products. So this is equal to 0 and this is also equal to 0. Then here comes, it implies x, if you shift this 2 to other side, it comes to minus 2. And if you shift that side, it comes to plus 2. So therefore, now they are not the zeros, okay? They are the roots. Therefore, the roots of x square minus 3x minus 10 equal to 0 are minus 2 comma 5. Right. Like this, we have to find the roots by factorization of the middle term. Now let's see this is the first problem, then we'll see the third problem. Now what we have to do, we have to do the product of the extremes first. Now the extremes are 5 root 2 and root 2 x square. 5 root 2 and root 2 x square. What is the product? Root 2 into root 2 comes to root 2 whole square. Square root and square cuts off. So 5x square. So 5 into 2x square, it comes root 2 root 2 whole square. Square root square gets cancelled. So this comes to 10x square, right? There is no negative sign. This is plus 10x. Now we will be splitting this 10x square such that the product should be 10x square and the addition should be 7x. So such way. Again we know 10. What are the factors of 10? 10 and 1, 5 and 2. If there are simple things, you can write factors. If the product here is a bigger one, you have to factorize again. You should find the factors of that. If it is 300, 400 like that, you can find the factors by factorization. Now here I'll take again 5x, 2x, 2x or 5x, anything you can take. Now so that the sum should be, so I'll take both the plus. So if you add them, you get 7x. So these are the factors you have to take for splitting. So 2x square, instead of 7x, the middle term I'm splitting into 5x plus 2x. So this comes to 0. Now take from these first two terms, what is the common? You have to take it out. There is no number common, but the x variable is common. So what is remained here? Root 2x plus 5. Now here, what is common here? There is no x, so root 2 is common here. If I take root 2 common, see, in 2 we have 2 root 2's. Root 2 whole square is nothing but 2. So if I take root 2 common here, again root 2 is left over. So if you multiply again, you have to get this. Plus 5. And you have to check that always the thing which is in the bracket must be same. Just to check whether you have taken the same factors. For checking that, see that this term must be the same. If it is not same, that means splitting of the factors you have done is wrong. Okay. Now this term which is common, you take it out. Now the remaining is x plus root 2. Right. This is a product of the binomial. It implies root 2x plus 5 equal to 0. That means root 2x is equal to minus 5. X is equal to minus 5 by root 2. This is one root. Okay. Now the second one, x plus root 2 equal to 0. X is equal to simply minus 2. Therefore, the roots of the quadratic equation are minus 5 by root 2 and minus root 2. So, in this way, we can factorize the middle terms. Now, pause the video and quickly copy down. Let's see the verbal problem. Now, there are verbal problems in the same exercise. Now, the fifth problem we will do. Now, I'll read out for you. Fifth problem, okay. A cottage industry produces a certain number of pottery articles in a day, right? It was observed on a particular day that the cost of the production of each article in rupees was 3 more than twice the number of articles produced on that day. If the total cost of the production on that day was rupees 20, find the number of articles produced and cost of each article. Okay, here there is a small scale industry, that is a cottage industry. It is producing the pottery articles in a day. So here asked that find the number of articles produced and the cost of each article. Here, now we will suppose them, we will bring it into the form of a quadratic equation, then we will solve the problem. Now given that find the number of articles produced. Now we will be supposing, we'll suppose let the number of articles produced. What are the articles here? The pottery articles. Okay, number of articles produced be x. Okay, the articles, the pottery articles, I am supposing it as x. So again, what is the condition given here? It was observed that on a particular the cost of production of each article is 3 more than twice the number of the articles. So number of articles is x, then cost of each article is 3 more than twice the articles. So twice the articles is, article is x, twice the article plus 3. Okay, 3 more, that means add 3, twice the article. So this is the cost. Okay, this is in rupees, right? Now here also given that on a particular day, on the total of a day by problem given, by problem, what is the given information from the problem? It is producing and the sale is about, the production and the sale is about 90 rupees. Okay, so how we get the rupees? The article into the cost. See how many articles and into the cost, that comes to the rate, isn't it? 2x plus 3 equals to 90. on one day, rupees 90. Okay. Now here we will open the bracket. It comes to 2x square plus 3x minus 90. Bring 90 inside. So this is the equation. Now we need to find what we have to find. We have to find the x, number of articles, and also the cost. First we'll find the x. Now how to find the x? First what we should do, this is a quadratic equation. I'll multiply the extremes here. Let us do it in the rough part. Here minus 90, 2x square. It comes to minus 180x square. Okay, rough. So I'll do the product of the extremes, then I'll split it. Now this is a big number, right? If it is 10, if it is 5, we can write the factors. If it is a big number, find the factors for that. Okay, 180. If you find the factors from 2, start 90, 2 45s. Now start with 3 1s are, 3 5s are, 3 5s are, and 5 1s. These are the factors. Now you should not take all these factors. We have to split it only 2 terms. So we'll squeeze it here. See here, if you take the product of these two, it comes to 15. If you take the product of these 3, it comes to 12. 3 into 4, 12. So only 2 terms we have to take. So we have the factors as 5 terms. Okay, splitting it into 2 terms we want. So I'll make the products here. See here, 12 and 15. Let's take 12 and 15. 12 into 15, 180. Now we have to see the minus sign. Here the middle term is 3x. Here 3x. That means the bigger term should have plus and the smaller term should have minus. Now here x term, 12x. 15x. Now do the product here, check it out. 12, 15 is 180 minus, and if you add it, you get 3x. So those two are the factors we need to take. 2x square minus 12x plus 15x minus 90 equal to 0. Now from first 2 terms, take the common, that is 2x. 2x is common, x minus, it comes to 6, isn't it? If you take 2x, x minus 6. Now in these 2 terms, 15 you take x. Now in these 2 terms, 15 x minus 6. So here, now these two are same. So x minus 6, take it common. 2x plus 15 is the remaining. Now that implies x minus 6 equal to 0. So x is equal to 6. Now here if you take 2x plus 15 equal to 0. So 2x is equal to minus 15, x is equal to minus 15 by 2. Now what is x actually? These are the roots, okay? X, these are the roots of this quadratic equation. Now what is x here? Number of articles. Articles cannot be negative, isn't it? So we will eliminate this and we will take x is equal to 6. Therefore, number of articles equal to 6. Not only that, it is also asked to find the cost of each article. So therefore cost of each article is now given 2x plus 3. So 2 into 6 plus 3. So 12 plus 3. So 15. So that means rupees. Write the rupees here. Rupees 15 is the cost of each article. The pottery article produced is 15 rupees, and number of articles produced in that day for 90 rupees, 6 articles were produced. So likewise, with the help of the quadratic equations, by factorizing them, we can find this problem. Next. Now the 8th problem. 2 trains leave a railway station at the same point. The first train travels towards the west and the second train towards the north. Okay. The first train travels 5 kilometers per hour faster than the second train. If after 2 hours they are 50 kilometers apart, find the average speed of each train. Okay, given that we have to find the average speed of each train. We will be doing this using the quadratic equations, right? Now here there are 2 trains starting from let's start solution. Now if I draw the diagram, there are 2 trains. Let this be the starting point. They are starting at the same point. Okay. One train is going towards the north. Okay. Another train towards the west. Okay. Here. Now, the first train, which train is going towards the north? Let's see. First train. The first train travels west. So, this is the first train. Here, this is traveling. This is the first train. Okay. And this is the second train traveling towards the north. They are starting at a same point. And after 2 hours, this is having some speed, this is having with some speed. Okay. After 2 hours, they are meeting where the distance between them is 50 kilometers. Okay. After 2 hours, the distance given here. Okay, this is the information given. Now, we already know that the distance is equal to speed into time, right? Now, let us suppose, let the speed of, this is second train, isn't it? The second train B. Now, the second train is somewhat slower, because the first train given that it is moving 5 kilometers per hour more. That means this is the fast train than compared to the second one. So, let us keep in bracket, this is slower, right? Okay. The second train B, x kilometers per hour. I am supposing this as the speed, isn't it? So, I will take it as x kilometers per hour. Now, therefore, the speed of the first train, first train. Now this train is traveling at a speed 5 kilometers per hour more than the second. So that I am supposing it as faster. Okay. B, x plus 5 kilometers per hour. Right. Now we want the distance. Okay. Distance traveled by the second train. So distance is speed into time. Speed of the second train is x and the time is 2 hours. Okay. So speed into time, that is equal to 2x. This is just kilometers because that is the distance. Now the same distance traveled by first train is, what is the speed of the first train? X plus 5, and same, the time is the same, that is 2 hours. So 2 into x plus 5. So this comes to 2x plus 10 kilometers. These are the distance covered by. That means here the second train, how much we got? 2x kilometers. The first train we got as 2x plus 10 kilometers. This one. This is the matter we got. And also we can see that this is a right angle triangle. Now right angle triangle, we will be applying the Pythagoras theorem. See, this is the distance, and these are the sides, and this is the hypotenuse, right? Now, by Pythagoras theorem, what does it say? Hypotenuse square equal to side square plus side square. Now hypotenuse square is 50 square. Side square, one side is 2x plus 10 plus the other is 2x. Now, this is the only, by Pythagoras theorem, I have taken the hypotenuse square, side square plus side square. Okay. Now, this is completely the distance, isn't it? Now, here 50 whole square comes to 2500. Now, a plus b whole square, I will expand it. It comes to 4x square a square plus 2 into a into b, that comes to 40x. 2 into a, 4x plus 10, 40x plus b square 100. and again this 2 whole square, that is 4x square. Now if you see 2500 equal to 4x and 4x, like terms we have to add. So 8x square plus 40x plus 100. Right. Now we will bring this to the side. 8x square plus 40x plus 100 minus 2500 comes to 0. So these constants we will minus, it comes to 2400. We'll write it down. Okay. See here. Now it is 8x square plus 40x minus 2400. This is the quadratic equation we got. Okay. Now here there is 8 x's here, isn't it? 8. So we will divide throughout by 8. Okay. Then we get the term x square plus divide by 8, 5x. Now divide by 8 comes to 300. So what I did? I have divided throughout by 8 and I have written the equation. Now this is a quadratic equation now. Simplified quadratic equation. Now if you multiply the extremes, you get minus 300x square. Right. We will split it. Okay. 300 if you take the factors. See here. Because big number, so you have to take the factors. 275s. Okay. Now if you start with 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 5s are. Now it doesn't go with 3, 5 5s are, 5 1s are, 5 1s. Now these are the factors. Now what two factors you have to take such that they will be 300. Let's see here. Now here if you take 12, right, if you take 4, 20 and 15, right, this comes to 15 and this comes to 5 4s are 20. Okay, 15 and 20. 15, 20 if you take 5 you get, and 15 into 20 comes to 300. So let's take 15x, 20x. So such terms you have to take, only two terms you have to take. So here you got 5x. This is plus 5x, so keep plus here, minus here. If you product it, you get minus 30x square. So x square minus 15x plus 20x minus 300 comes to 0. So splitted the middle term. Now in these two, take the common x minus 15 plus, now what is common here? 20, x minus 15. 20 into 15 is 300. Now the common thing here is x minus 15, x plus 20 is remaining. So that means x minus 15 is 0. So x is equal to 15. Now here x plus 20 is 0. X comes to minus 20. Now here, now what is x? The speed of the second train. Okay, speed cannot be taken in the negative. Okay, so we will avoid this and we will take x is equal to 15. Therefore, the speed of second train, which is slower, second train equals to 15 kilometers per hour. Okay, now what is the speed of first train? The speed of first train. It is faster, isn't it? It is 5 kilometers per hour more. So 15 plus 5. So it comes to 20 kilometers per hour. X plus 15 is the speed of the second train, first train, isn't it? X plus 15. X is 15, 15 plus 5. So like this, we can find the speed of both the trains. Now, this is the rough part. Okay, pause the video and quickly copy down. Now the 10th problem, verbal problem, I'll read out. A motorboat heads upstream a distance of 24 kilometers on a river whose current is running at 3 kilometers per hour. The trip up and back takes 6 hours. Assuming that the motorboat maintained a constant speed, what is its speed? Now we have to find the speed of the boat in still water because it is at a constant speed. Now given the upstream and the downstream. Okay. Now it is covering a distance of 24 kilometers, right? Now let us assume this is a 10th problem. Now let us assume let the speed of boat in still water. It's maintaining a constant speed, isn't it? Let it be x kilometers per hour. Okay. Now, given the speed of the current, the flow, okay, speed of the current, it is already given as 3 kilometers per hour, right? Okay. Now, and what is the information? The speed upstream, the motor boat goes to upstream. Okay. Now let's see the speed of boat upstream. Upstream, we know that when the boat and the current, the flow, are in the opposite direction, we call it as upstream. Downstream, they are in the same direction. The boat as well as the flow, that is the current, are in the same direction, that is called as the downstream. If they are in the opposite direction, they are called as upstream. So in the opposite direction means x minus 3. Here x is the boat and 3 is the flow, that is the current, x minus 3 kilometers per hour. Now the same case, the speed of boat downstream is equal to x plus 3 kilometers per hour. Downstream means they are moving in the same direction. So I'm adding them. Now here, given that and also given time. Okay. Time is 6 hours. Right. The trip up and back, that means it is going and it is coming off. Also, both the trips, it is calculated as 6 hours. Right. Now, we also know that the time is equal to distance by speed. Now, the time taken up and down, is up and down is 6 hours. So this time we will be calculating, and it is going 24 kilometers like the distance. So time is distance by speed. Speed is upstream. When going upstream, I'll take x minus 3. The same distance down. Again it is coming up and down. We are calculating the time here. See, I am calculating the time for 6 hours. Okay. 6 hours it is taken for going up and coming down, isn't it? So this is the distance and this is the speed, x plus 3. This is downstream speed, this is upstream speed. This comes to 6. This is the total time taken. Now here, from this we will be simplifying it so that we get a quadratic equation. Now if I take the LCM, x minus 3, x plus 3, okay, this should be multiplied to 24, x plus 3, right? Now this is here, so this should be multiplied to 24, x minus 3 equal to 6. Now we'll open the bracket, 24x. Now 24, 6, that means 72, right, 72 plus 24x minus 72. If I open the bracket here, a minus b, a plus b, it comes to x square minus 9. A square minus b square, x square minus 9 equals to 6. Now here plus 72 minus 72 gets cancelled. It comes to 48x by x square minus 9 equal to 6. If you cross multiply here, now it comes to 6x square minus 6 9s are 54 equals to, it is 48. Okay, 6x square minus 54 is equal to 48x. Right, now bring it to one side, 6x square minus 48x minus 54. Now we learned that we have to place them in a standard form, that is in the decreasing order of the x variables, x square, x and the term. Now here there is 6 x's here, isn't it? Now we will take the 6 out here. You see here. Now dividing throughout by 6, you get x square minus 8x minus, now here divide by 6, you get 9. because 6 is more. So throughout the equation I am dividing with 6. So this equation is formed. Now see here, the extremes, if you take minus 9x square, split it so that it should come 8. Okay. Now what are the factors of like here 9 and 1, 3 and 3, these are the factors. So which factors we have to take? For to get 8, let's take 9 and 1, 1x, 9x. Okay. Now here if I place minus here plus here, if you add them you get minus 8x. So if you multiply you get minus 9x square. So x square minus 9x plus 1x means x minus 9 equal to 0. From these two terms, x common, x minus 9. There is no common here. That means we have to take 1. So x minus 9. If you multiply it 1 with 1, you get the same terms. Now x minus 9 you take common. So the remaining is x plus 1. So that means x minus 9 equal to 0, x equal to 9. Here x plus 1 equal to 0, x is equal to minus 1. Now we cannot take the negative term because the speed of the boat is x. So speed cannot be in negative. So we cannot take the negative. So we avoid this minus 1. Take therefore the speed of boat in still water equal to 9 kilometers per hour. Now asked is the speed, isn't it? Now how what is its speed? What is the speed of the motor boat? The speed of the boat is 9 kilometers per hour. Okay children, pause the video and quickly copy down. With this we finish the exercise problems. Thank you.